Hey friends, welcome back. And welcome to this week's reading vlog. I'm so excited for this week. I want to read some spooky books. I want to play some cozy games and have some cozy days. So welcome. So happy to have you here. Just got out of my pottery class and that was the final day of this session. It was very upsetting. Today's final day was spent glazing, so I still have to pick up some items over the next week or two. So I have nothing to show you today, unfortunately, but in the next coming weeks, I should have some more pieces to show you. And this is going to continue because I for sure am taking another session. I'm continuing this journey because I'm absolutely in love with it. So ceramics isn't going anywhere, not anytime soon ever on my channel. So I hope you care because I'm having an absolute blast with it. Since at pottery today, we didn't get to do anything other than glazing. I got out really early and I don't want to go home yet. So we are going to stop at the coffee shop where I usually get my beans that we grind at home for home coffee. And I'm going to get a coffee for here. I'm going to fill out my October bullet journal. I think at an outdoor seat. I don't know. It's really nice out. It is nice enough to have an outdoor seating situation. But we'll see if there's a cozier spot inside. I don't know. We'll scope it out. Regardless, I'm going to have a coffee for here, which is crazy. Do at least the bare bones of my bullet journal. I didn't bring my colors or my markers or anything. I figured I could just get the squares done here, have my coffee, go back home and finish it there. Once we get home, we'll talk about what books I'm going to be reading for this video because I also don't really know at this current moment other than Royal Assassin. I will be reading this week, but I do want to read another at least one or two spooky horror books or something. So I'm excited. I did also pick up another book this morning on audio on the way to pottery, but we'll talk about it. Okay. We'll sit down and chat books once we get home. But for now, let's go get a coffee. Let's do some bullet journaling and we'll chat soon. Okay, let's go.
You try to burn me down, but my spirit just revives.
Okay, hi. We've made it back home, walked to Avi. I had a little bit of lunch and cleaned the whole kitchen. That's what I did. I was like, why has it been hours since I've vlogged? That's why. And whilst doing most of those things, I was listening to the first book of this video, which I just randomly decided to pick up today. Because if I am out and about, oot and a boot, I simply cannot listen to The Royal Assassin without sitting down and reading it with my eyeballs. That's how most high fantasy is for me. I just I feel like I have to be paying 100% attention to it because otherwise I'll miss things and then I'll be confused later. And that is the worst feeling in the world for me, is not understanding something. Period. I guess that's the end of the sentence because I just don't like not understanding something that I'm supposed to understand. So that is my sit down and focus read. And the book that I started this morning on audio on the way to pottery is on the list of 25 books that I want to read in 2025. And it is time that I finally read it. I'm really excited. It's going really well already. It is Chain Gang All-Stars by Nanakwame Adjei-Brenyah. When this book came out, I think last year, it was on a lot of people's best of the year lists. And it was a contender for reading it for those videos that I do every January, February. And I just haven't picked it up. I don't know what else to tell you, but I was finally sick of myself enough to just put it on my TBR, active shelf TBR, and here I am, finally picking it up. I checked my Libby this morning, before I left the house for pottery, and I was like, oh, I only have 8 days left on this audiobook. Let's just start it. And here we are, 100 pages in today. That's great. I know I said I wanted to read some spooky books in this video, but to be completely honest, what's scarier than how our prison system is run? Because that is what this book is predominantly talking about, is the American prison system. It is a dystopian future type of book where inmates are televised fighting to the death of one another for the entertainment of the viewers. They can bet on things. There are sponsors involved. It's all super wild and, very plausible. And how well these people do against their opponents in these death matches will determine how long their sentence is, prison sentence. And I think that if you make it 3 years, is what I'm understanding, within this televised game, which will amount to so many battles and people that they have to kill in order to make it to those 3 years, then your sentence is null and void and you're supposed to be freed. And the storytelling is so solid. It's immediately gripping from the very first sentence. It was actually gripping from the very first quote after the dedication page. It says, "I hope the universe love you today," by Kendrick Lamar. And from that moment on, I knew I was gonna love this. This book is predominantly following two two of the top women gladiators fighting for their freedom within the depraved private prison system, not so far removed from America's own. Exactly. We have Loretta Thurwar and Hamara Hurricane Stacks, and they're the stars of the Chain Gang All-Stars, the cornerstone of CAPE, or Criminal Action Penal Entertainment, a highly popular, highly controversial, profit-raising program in America's increasingly dominant private prison industry. I actually don't think I've ever read the real synopsis. This is helpful. I mean, like, I understand all of this now, like, being 100 pages in, like, yes, I have gathered these things, but sometimes a synopsis is nice and succinct, you know? Both of these main characters, Thurwar and Stacks, they both are what's called links in the same chain gang, and they travel to compete at these different death matches with all of these protesters just outside the arena gates. So that's another interesting point within the story, is we're getting many, many, many point of views of these women, but also like the newscasters that are televising the events. There's a random point of view of like one of the people, like one of the rich guys who like will bet and pay for like the really good seats, and you know, it's really disgusting, and it's written really well to bring the emotion out of the reader for sure. And our two main characters, Thurwar and Stacks, are lovers and also the fan favorites. And we're actually like, I don't know if it's months or a couple weeks. Oh, in just a few matches, Thurwar will be free. And as she's leaving, she's considering how she might help preserve her fellow Link's humanity in defiance of the so-called games. But CAPE's corporate owners will stop at nothing to protect their status quo, and the obstacles they lay in Thurwar's path have devastating consequences. So I think that this book is going to get like extremely emotional. I wouldn't be surprised if I cry in some sort of way or another, because I already care about these characters, and I'm loving the dynamic that we're getting of being within the games while also outside the games, and seeing some of the point of view of like the protesters as well as the people who are involved, but it doesn't really like directly affect them, so they're sort of just like bystanders. I think that Nana Kwame is doing a really, really phenomenal job about giving us all of these different point of views and having us see it from so many different angles. And I think it's going to be really, really, really good. But I do have to put it down right now at like 100 pages because I have some more work to do. I have to finish my bullet journal spread for October, and in doing so, I also want to start doing the bulletin for my Patreon that I do every single month, just kind of like planning all the content, figuring out what I'm doing when, and making the graphics that I post every single month so that everyone knows when things are happening, like exclusive videos, reading sprints. I'm doing a month-long readathon. Oh my God. Yeah. In October for my Patreon. And it's so cute. It's like a trick-or-treat theme, obviously, because it's Halloween. But I have 3 different spinner wheels, and they're all gonna like spin the wheels and determine what their reading prompts are for the month. And it'll just be really cute. I'm excited about it. So I gotta finish putting all this together. And I also want to play Animal Crossing later. So I want to get this work done now so that I can do that later guilt-free. So Chain Gang All-Stars going really well right now. I'm gonna start with the readathon wheels and make sure that's all squared away, because I might post that like now. Well, as soon as I have it done, so that everyone can like see that it's happening, and then I'll reiterate that it's happening in the actual official welcome to the Greenhouse for October bulletin for my Patreon. So that's what's happening. I'm gonna finish my coffee. I got an extra shot of espresso, so I think there's like technically 4 shots in here. Mind your own business. I like to go fast, and I will be back later with a life update, reading update, whatever it might be. I'll be back. Okay, hi. This is so cute. I'm once again watching Gavin's new video, and it is the Snake Across My Bookshelves, like spooky edition. And in this video, he said that he was watching me, and in the video that he was watching of me, I said I was watching him. So now we are just continuing this little game that we're playing, apparently. So now I'm watching Gavin, and I also finally just finished my October readathon thing for Patreon. I'm actually so excited about it. I want to show you. Okay, so I first of all made these little graphics that are so cutie to track the reads, and you can see that there's little like ghost and candy emojis underneath where people will put their like book covers of the ones that they're reading, because it is obviously themed for like trick or treat. And I created 3 different wheels for people to spin. So first one you would go to is the trick or treat wheel, and you would obviously spin the wheel. And then depending on which one you get, then you would go to the corresponding wheel for the reading prompt that you would get. So say we got a treat, we would go to the treat wheel, which has a bunch of reading prompts to it. I'm so proud of this. I think it's so cute. So if this was, maybe this will be my first book that I'll choose. Let's see. Read a book that matches your fall drink or outfit. That's a fun prompt, Sydney. Good work. So that's fun. Say I got a trick, and then we can go to the trick wheel, which are still like fun prompts, but like, you know, they might be a little bit more tricky. Let's see what this one is. It says read a book with a morally gray main character. Slay. I love that. There's a couple on there that are like, you know, read a book that's like greater than 400 pages, or as simple as like read a mystery or thriller, because those are tricky, you know, those are a little bit more like, you know, could be spooky. I gave them like 3 candy pieces for a respin. Of course, you can respin as many times as you want. There's no one like monitoring you, but you know, to try to make you read what you spin for, I was like, you have 3 lives, you know, give or take. I don't care. I don't care what you do. But that's posted and I'm excited. It is immediately getting some good responses. So, you know, and that's also helpful that I just tried to do it and it worked. This is exciting. I'm so happy about it. I also finished most of my reading journal for October. Look at how cute she is. And then of course the other page, the Dutch door, has my trackers on the other side. Just some cute little pumpkins and slime lettering, of course. But getting that readathon thing posted was one of the biggest things that I wanted to do today. I know it's only like one day before October, but at least it's coming out before October. So people could spend a little bit of time today creating a TBR if they want to, or you can, you know, read a book, then spin again once you finish the book, that sort of thing. But that's exciting. That's very fun. I think maybe I will use these wheels for some reads in October. Wow, I love this. But so for the rest of the day, I actually only have like 10 more minutes of Gavin's video. So I'll probably finish that and get a start on the bulletin for Patreon. Because at the end of a month and beginning of the month, it's always very busy, like admin work, I call it. Me never working a desk job in my life, but like trying to equate things to like normal jobs, you know what I'm saying? So I got some admin work to do. And I also want to finish like scheduling out what videos I'm going to post all month, because I obviously am doing vlogs and things, but there are some fun things that I'm doing this month too. Like Caleb and I are getting a little tiny home and we are going camping for a few days. We're going to bring Avi. It's going to be so fun. I'm also going to be on a panel for a literary fest here in Indy. So there are a couple of things that I got to like schedule around and make sure that I would have enough time theoretically to film and edit said videos that I want to do. So I just got to, you know, spend some time in the quiet with myself and schedule out the content. So that being said, I'm going to go do a couple of those things before Caleb gets home from work. And I hope to also have another update for you on Chang'an All-Stars tomorrow morning. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going well. So I'll probably see you then.
Like a phoenix from the ash, find my strength from within. I am stronger than before.
Hi, good morning. It's 11:30 a.m. I've had a very busy morning. Since it's the 1st of October, I had to finish all of the bulletin posts and everything for Patreon. And I did finish the monthly graphic. It looks so jam-packed this month. I'm going to be doing 3 different movie nights. There is a month-long readathon that I already told you about yesterday. This is for the book club. We're doing a buddy read with The Lamb by Lucy Rose. And then our main pick is Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. And then last month's pick was The Enchanted Greenhouse. So that's the info for when the book club is meeting. And then, first of all, I didn't even have my TV photo on. How ugly is that background? That's better. But I told you about these, and that's really exciting for the trick or treat wheels. You know what I'm saying? But that obviously takes a lot of time. And then, writing out everything, getting everyone up to speed on what the plan is. And also the schedule for the next, however many weeks opened up at work. So I had to, put in my scheduling requests for, kind of through the end of the year, which is crazy. I don't even want to think about that. That just made me, disassociate and feel really awful. I can't believe that this year is already almost over. But that being said, I also, guys, have been trying to find a trade for Halloween because I didn't think that I had to request it off, but apparently I should have because they moved me from my previous requested day that week to Halloween, and I simply won't be doing that. I've already been trying to ask everyone I know that might potentially want to trade me that week. But of course, it's on a Friday as well. So no one wants to work Halloween and no one wants to work a Friday if they don't have to. So we'll see what happens. But I texted a couple more people politely begging. So we'll see what happens, I guess. But now, hi, welcome back. We have quite a to-do list for today. Last night I did read some of The Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb before I went to bed, maybe like 20 pages or so. I just love it. I love the writing. It is so like cozy fantasy, but also like emotional and high stakes. And I just love Robin Hobb. I'm really excited to continue. So if I'm ever finding myself sitting down and reading, this is what I'll be reading for this video, and also just like period until I finish it if I have time to sit down. I also am listening, like previously discussed, to Changing Ulcers. I think I've listened to like 30 or 40 pages this morning just on Avi's walk. And then I had to sort of lock in and do all of this admin work. And now the rest of the day, it's going to be kind of like a heavy filming day because I want to film my monthly reset for Patreon. That's an exclusive video I do every month. So I want to film that and just like update my reading journal and like reorganize my bookshelves in terms of like the books that I read this past month in September. I want to sort of determine which books I'm going to like keep and put back on my shelves or unhaul them. So I'm going to go through all of that in that video, but also in tandem with that, that means I'm going to film my September wrap up, long form and short form, because the long form will post on this Friday. And then, you know, I do short form, like the quick yes, no, maybe, whether I recommend him to you or not. I also want to film my like fall TBR because I don't think that I've done that yet. And it is fully fall. So I want to film that today as well. This first week, I'm going to have hopefully 3 videos, the wrap up on Friday, the fall TBR on Sunday, and then I'm going to post the last week's reading vlog on Monday because I only read N.lui by Maria Reva in that video. It's kind of short, but it's a cute video because it was Avi's gotcha weekend. So we went hiking, we made her a cake, and like, it's a really cute video, but it feels not as like substantial for a Sunday video, if that makes sense. One of my coworkers is checking to see if she can switch me. Live updates. I'm not getting my hopes up, but my hopes are up. But anyways, lots of filming today. Before we do any of that, I'm going to need some sustenance. So I'm going to make a late breakfast, eat that, and make probably a coffee, maybe just drink an energy drink. I'm not sure. We'll see what the vibe is. But I'm going to definitely eat food and caffeinate and get on with all of the filming for the day. So I'll be back, but I don't know if today's going to be a lot of reading, or it doesn't seem like it's going to be a lot of reading because I have a lot of filming to do. While I'm eating breakfast and getting ready to film, I'll probably be listening to Changing Ulcers, honestly. It has completely gripped me. It is really setting us up to feel some big emotions. Let's just say that. One thing that's really interesting about the way that Nana Kwame is writing this is that it feels so all immersive. One, because it does kind of like feel like it's a real thing that is or could be happening. And the way that they're writing it is involving like trademarks and sponsorships for these people who are fighting for their lives and their sentences. And within the audiobook, if you're not physically reading it especially, it does sound like there are ads like within the text because the story involves these major corporations who are sponsoring these fighters. And, you know, they have to have ad placements for the audience, and like we're the audience. So it's really kind of trippy sometimes because like even when I was like changing into these cozies for the day, I was like, oh my God, are there like small cameras flying around me? Like I like had a moment where I was like, no, Sydney. You are not in that book. That's crazy. And I feel like that's a really solid tell of a strong writer and a strong book, is that it like seeps into your active, just everyday thoughts and lives. So yeah, it's going really well. I think that I'm going to end up continuing to love it. I'm so upset that it's taken me so long. I knew I would feel that way when reading this book, so at least I'm reading it now. Okay, the wrap up is completely finished. I have set up for Spin the Bottle TBR, and I've surrounded myself with potentials that I do want to read, and we'll see what ends up happening. I think I'm going to spin the bottle TBR board 5 times, and then I'm going to spin the trick or treat wheel once in that video, and then that will be the book that we read next for the weekly vlog. I had to go have a snack in between videos to have sustenance to finish it out. So let's go film the Spin the Bottle TBR and see how it goes. I'm nervous.
Gave you the benefit of the doubt. It took me a while to figure out that you knew exactly what you were doing. Can't believe I was that naive to let all the blame for our back on me.
Okay, hi. Filming is done. The fall TBR is so massive, it's insane. Please look at it. Obviously, no way that I'll read all of these, especially just in like 2 months. This is mostly just like a bank to choose from because I'm embracing my mood reader era, and it's such a good stack. I'm so excited about it. Don't forget about my 2 current reads too. Those aren't in that stack, but I'm gonna finish these first. But Kayla's been home for a hot minute, and we have to go walk Avi before it gets absolutely crazy out there with all of the other doggos. So I think I'm going to absolutely try to read much more of Chain Gang All-Stars tonight, and I should have a pretty good update for you in the morning, honestly, if not completed completely. So, you know, week in the life, day in the life. Today was a heavy, like, computer work and filming day, which doesn't always lead to high page count days, which is obviously like understandable if I'm spending my time doing other things for work. But I'm looking at the stack. It's so stunning. I'm really excited about it. And I'm also really, really loving Chain Gang All-Stars still. I think one of the things I'm loving so much about the way that it's written is all of the point of views we're getting, because obviously we care about the people who are incarcerated and are fighting for their lives, but it becomes so dynamic when we're getting the point of views from like the people outside, the people who are like putting them in these situations and making decisions about their lives for them, and just about like how they aren't really seen as people. Like fundamentally, they are just used as a entertainment chip for, you know, money for the rest of the world, for the rest of America, or whoever the audience is. And I think that since we're getting all of those different point of views, it makes you care about them even more, and you want to fight for them. You want to see them succeed, but you know that all of the odds are stacked against them in so many ways. And I think that it's going to get extremely emotional from here on out, honestly. So we'll see how it goes. Excited to come back and tell you how I finally feel about it at the very end. But for now, I'm going to take off this long sleeve because it's hot in my library and go take Avi for a walk and make dinner, eat it, read some more later, maybe play some Animal Crossing. We'll see how it goes. And I will probably see you in the morning. Hello, good morning. Happy Thursday. Today has another pretty long to-do list. It's very intensive, actually. Took Avi out. I've been listening to Chain Gang All-Stars. I have probably like an hour and a half left of reading time, most likely, which is great because I will at least finish it during reading sprints later this evening. I have that slotted for 3 p.m. with my Patreon. And before then, obviously we're in the car. We're going to go run some errands. I have some returns to do, and the returns are actually at Whole Foods, so I'm going to grab some groceries, just like a small trip. We don't have the budget to shop there for everything. But when in Rome, I'm going to grab a couple things. Obviously, I'm out. I'm going to go get a coffee. And Tamara Bookstore has these amazing horror-themed t-shirts because they're doing an incredible Women in Horror night. Guys, the panel is absolutely insane. I'm so excited about it. And they made t-shirts for it. So I'll show you the t-shirt later, and I'll tell you everyone who's involved. But they are doing great things. And I need to go get a t-shirt before they're sold out too. So let's go. Please excuse the absolute carnage of Avi destroying her toys. But hi, welcome home. I feel like that window's too bright. Is that window too bright? Should I do this? And then I'll scoot over. Does that make sense? I feel like that's better. There's just fuzz everywhere from her destroying her octopus. And that's fine. I support her. We stopped at the bookstore. We got Lila Sage's newest book, Soul Searching. So cute. Her books are like popcorn reads for me. Like easy to get through, fun times, and I just enjoy them, you know? So that was exciting to see out already. And then this is the shirt. Oh my God, she's stunning. It says, Tamara Bookstore presents Women in Horror. Open your mind to the horrors within. It's literally so sick. Look at it. Wow. Super excited about it. Let me tell you about who exactly is on the panel, because I don't know how they managed this. Honestly, it's incredible. Oh, there's 2 panels. Okay, so the first one is, there's a spooky book fair, which is fun. And then there's a Being a Woman Writer in the Horror Industry author panel. It is Nina Veal, Jenny Kiefer, and Leslie J. Anderson. Dude, I love Leslie J. Anderson. And then the headline horror conversation is CJ Lead, Bram Stoker, and Delilah S. Dawson. Guys, like, Delilah S. Dawson is one of my favorite authors. And also Leslie J. Anderson. I mean, CJ Lead is super cool. Bram Stoker. All of these are huge names. And it's all tied into like one night. And I'm so excited about it. And they made t-shirts, obviously, which are stunning. I wanted to make sure that Avi was present for this next part. She looked up at me. She's like, yes, Mom, I'm here. Because I have this package here that I think is for her. She has no idea. One of my patrons, Megan, sent her a little like gotcha day box. Because if you watched my last reading vlog, it was her gotcha day on September 27th. So we like did a bunch of things. We made her a cake, we went hiking, we did so many things. And it was such a good weekend. There were very few books read in that reading vlog, but like the vibes were immaculate. And I think that this is for her. I'm gonna cry. Goblin. It says, happy gotcha day, Avi. And a special gift for you said, aw, because I hope you love the rest of the Cruel Prince series. Thank you for making such a wonderful community in the greenhouse. I'm so thankful for the worms. The greenhouse is my Patreon if you didn't know. That's what we call it. That's what we call it. Avi. Avi, this is for you. Look at this. Yeah, puppy. This is specifically so cute because look at what Avi's last lamb chop looks like. Like completely disheveled, torn to shreds. And I had mentioned that and Megan was like, oh my God, let me send her a new lamb chop for her gotcha day. Goblin, you have people that love you outside of your family. Look at that. She's already trying to nibble it. Hold on, Avi. Let me get all of the packaging off. Oh, she's so excited. I love that she just like knows that it's for her. Like inherently, she's like, that's mine. She just knocked over the gift notes, so she just read it herself. And she's like, yeah, this checks out. Oh, puppy. Good girl, good girl. Good job, Bobby. Wow, that's so fun. Say thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. She loves it. She loves it so much. Thank you. That's so sweet of you to send Avi something for her gotcha day because she's like 11 now. Ugh. But it's okay because she's the eternal dog and she's always gonna be here. I honestly, Megan, you need to understand something. This is the best thing you could have done. Honestly, like I'm so serious. These are the best books you could have gotten me because I have had them in my Pango Books like cart since I read The Cruel Prince and I just haven't pulled the trigger. I have not bought them. Oh, this is perfect. She got me The Queen of Nothing and The Wicked King. I think they actually go in reverse order. But wow, this is perfect because I have the hardcover edition. Oh, and I was hoping they would all be the same version. So the hardcover will have like a foiled thing on each one. That's perfect. This matches the edition that I have. I'm sure you recognized that. Thank you so much. This is actually super, super exciting because I do want to continue the Cruel Prince series. I had a good time and I do care about where it goes. I'm excited about this. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, we both get some. Do you see her paw on her toy? You see that? Oh, she's like, yes, this is mine. And then, wow, I'm just so honored. I'm gonna put one of these little notes in each one of these books so that I remember. Okay, and then I do actually have another package to open with you guys, which is very exciting. For this, I will have a discount code for you guys. If you don't know Novel Wicks, they are a phenomenal candle company. All handmade. She is an incredible person and she sent me one specifically just to share with you guys. So sweet. I'm so excited about it. The code, if you want to order and get, I think, 10% off, is Sydney10, if you could see that. My name, Sydney10. All the packaging is falling out everywhere. Oh no. Oh my goodness, I just vacuumed. This is tragic. Oh, let me open it inside this box. That's brilliant. Good work, Sydney. Okay, there's 2 in here, and I only agreed to 1. So that's also very exciting. Let's see. I think this is the one that I specifically picked out. Wow, I'm so excited. This one sounds so good. Oh, I love like an earthy candle. I don't really like a sweet scented candle. This is called Georgie, which is so cute. And it does also like matches my shirt. I didn't plan that. I think that there's different layers within this. Okay, so the top of this is musk, vanilla, sandalwood, and patchouli. The middle is rose, lilac, spice, and geranium, and the bottom is wood and musk. It's kind of like the perfect candle, in my opinion. I like that it like changes as you burn it. That's super exciting. Oh, just one more time. And she always puts this like really pretty glitter on the top so that when it burns, it like melts in with the wax and it looks really pretty. They're wood wick as well, in case that wasn't clear. Oh, it smells like clean woodsy. You know what I mean? That's exciting. And why is there another one? Aw. Ooh, that smells so good. I think this is like a preview of what like she's gonna be selling like in winter. This one is Christmas in Narnia, which says pomegranate bitters. Oh, look at how pretty. Okay, this is actually, like, I'm kind of picky with candles. I'm not even gonna like pretend that I'm something that I'm not. I'm kind of picky with candles. Both of these are actually incredible. I'm obsessed with this. I also kind of like the tin. It's very cute. Wow, I could just smell this forever. Wow, I love these so much. I don't know what I did to deserve you. Thank you. Thank you for sending them to me, and also go buy some candles, please and thank you. She has a lot of like book themed ones too, by the way, like characters and vibes and situations from books, like hence novel wicks. You know, so I couldn't be happier. Simply put, use my code Sydney10 for a discount. It's not sponsored. She's just awesome. Wow, that's so fun. Okay, I like that Avi's just hanging out with me. My little sweetie. She still has her paw on her toy. You got your toy? Wow, literally she's so cute. I can't even handle it. This is just so much fun. I'm honored. Wow, what a time to be alive. What a cutie little haul. Okay, I think what is going to happen now, we're gonna take Avi for a quick little walk because I need to start doing some sort of work. Yeah, I'll probably do some editing before sprints, and then I will finish changing All-Stars in the sprints. That sounds good. I do have my pistachio oat latte, which is the best thing in the world. That's from Coat Check Coffee. If you're ever in Indy, you need to go to Coat Check Coffee and get the pistachio latte. I'm telling you, it's incredible. And then they also have the best biscuit sandwiches. Amazing. Their biscuits are to die for. So I'm gonna heat this up after the walk and treat that as a little brunch. Wow. Groceries were expensive. So that is to bring me back down to, you know, reality. It was too expensive. But I got some fun things. Like I got us some scallops and salmon because we love scallops. We've never cooked scallops, but we are in love with scallops, and so they were on sale. So maybe we'll make some scallops tonight. And then I got obviously some wine to restock the wine rack that Caleb made. And then just odds and ends, other random things like spicy dill pickle chips. Listen, if they're out there on an end cap and I see them, I'm gonna get them. I love a pickle chip. But okay, it is 12:40. So I'm going to walk Avi, get some editing in before we start sprints at 3. And then I'll be finishing, like I said, changing All-Stars. So once I finish that, I'll come back and give you a final update. I just really like it. Hello. I have finished editing the September wrap up. That's exported. I just have to upload it later. I can't upload a video while I'm doing reading sprints because I simply don't have the bandwidth with my Wi-Fi to be doing that. But I did also just finish Changing All-Stars by Nana Kwame Ejebrenya, and this book was so good. I think that it's phenomenally written. I think that the conversations in this book are done incredibly well. I also loved the footnotes that brought in like real world research that they did to compare this like fictional story to things that are happening in the real world, even though this fictional story is also, like I've said before, like so probable and just like accurate in how things are within the prison system and also within the dehumanizing part of the prison system complex and how people who run these sorts of industries like just view and use them for either, like in this book, for their entertainment or just to pad their pocketbooks. Like, I'm glad that we got so many point of views, especially from Simon J. Kraft. I feel like his point of view was one of the most needed to see like what the industry, what these types of systems that we have in place can do to a person. And I just like, it makes me, all of this, it makes you really emotional. Like, this is a really well done book, and I will check out anything else they write. I want to say that it like in my heart is a 5-star. I think that structurally I might like give it a 4.5 to a 5-star, just because even though, like I said, I am glad that we got many point of views, I do think that the overarching plot line was a little bit scattered and hard to keep up with who we were following at any given point of view, because we are introduced to quite quite a few people, and even some people who I feel like were just side characters got a point of view, which was, for me at least, hard to keep up with on who we were supposed to be like really caring about the most, if that makes sense. But the story overall as a whole, like concept wise and execution wise, 5 stars, absolutely. Structure and plot wise feels more like a 4.5 stars. Either way, it's a phenomenal book, and I'm so glad that I read it. I'm so glad that I finally read it this year. I'm so mad that it took me so long, but you know, I'm happy about it. I mean, I'm really sad about it, but like it was really good. I am actively doing reading sprints with my Patreon. We are in the final minutes of this first sprint, so I now have to determine what else I'm going to be reading or doing for the rest of sprints. I probably will just start reading Royal Assassin again. But I also do want to pick up like an overtly horror or spooky season book. So I think in the next sprint, I'm going to also choose another book that we're going to start for this video. So the sprint just ended. Let's go yap. And I will come back once I've either read some of this or decided what we're doing otherwise for a spooky book. Okay, I'm sitting here with all my friends. This is my fall TBR. And if you watched my fall TBR video where I played my spin the bottle game, at the end of that video, I did spin my trick or treat wheel for the first time, and I got a treat. And then the treat spinner wheel brought me to a book with fall vibes, which is indeed a treat. So I'm thinking that we can, I mean, there's obviously so many options, right? Fall vibes, obviously The Lamb by Lucy Rose is a horror, and that is my horror buddy read for my book club this month. So I could do that. Head Full of Ghosts would work. Ooh, Gideon the Ninth is definitely a fall vibe. Second Death of Locke, The Har, but The Possession of Alba Diaz. Honestly, that's a pretty strong contender. I also have been thinking about The Macabre pretty aggressively. I think it's going to be between these two right now. I mean, I could also do We Love You, Bunny. I'm so scared of it. I'm so scared of it. Don't look at my kitchen table. Yes, I have a bunch of stuff on it. Mind your own business. But the light does look really pretty when it's on. So you can look over there if you want. Oh, it looks so bad. Don't look at it. I changed my mind. I actually think I'm going to choose The Macabre. This sounds really good to me at this exact moment. I'm not sure what I'll actually be able to finish in this video, but that thought be damned, because this sounds really good, so I'm going to start reading this over the course of the next 24 hours probably. And that's exciting to me, and that's what this is all about. So this is what I'm choosing. But until Kayla gets home, I will be reading The Royal Assassin. So let's go do that.
No one tells you all the ways my heart will break and expand. I am stronger than before. I know.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. I did stay up pretty late reading The Royal Assassin last night. I got to page 117, which isn't nothing. So we're slowly making our way through. I'm not sure if I will finish that book in this video. I forget how like slow going Robin Hobb books are. Like I've only read one. This is only my second one, but the first book in this series, I remember it's just like a cozy fantasy, like really descriptive and explains everything, even the commonplace things and situations. And I really love it. There's not a lot of high action, which I typically do prefer in my high fantasy, but there is also a huge part of me that loves the like classic fantasy vibes, and that's what Robin Hobb's writing gives to me. So it's just a different type of read. It's not one that I can easily binge through, if that makes sense, because we're meant to be there for a while. We're meant to stew in the characters' growth and development very slowly, and I'm okay with that. I'm very excited to continue reading it whenever I can. I did also just listen to the prologue, oh boy, of The Macabre by Kosoko Jackson. I thought it was Kosoko Jackson, but I think in the audiobook I just heard them say Kosoko, so the inflection is a little bit different. I need you to just like look at this cover. It's so good. Our main character is a painter, and just from the prologue, I'll give you more of a synopsis once I'm further in, but just in the synopsis, we learn that he is a painter of like kind of like dark things, and he goes into these fugue states where he does his paintings. Like it'll feel like a moment from when he goes into the fugue state and comes back out with a finished painting. And in the prologue, we learn that his mother died. The doctors say that it's from an aneurysm just because they don't know exactly what to call it. But she had like blood coming out of all of like her eyes, her ears, I think her mouth, like just, you know, in a really horrific, graphic way. And there's a woman in the waiting room sitting next to our main character, Lewis, and she was creepy. And it's just like immediately gripping. My jaw was already like slack walking down the stairs coming to update you before I take Avi out this morning, because I was like, oh, this was the right choice. I'm really excited to keep reading it. In other news, already this morning, I have made the thumbnail for my September wrap up. I am halfway done editing my fall TBR video. I plan on finishing that in its entirety for sure before I do anything else today. But I also need to start editing that extra reading vlog that I'm posting either Monday or Wednesday next week, just so that I am still on track with my weekly vlogs coming out when I want them to come out, because I want this one to come out at a reasonable time as well. So a little bit heavier of a workload this first week of the month, which I am expecting. You know, it's fine. It is how it is. But today will be another kind of heavy editing day. Caleb has a short day at work though, so I don't know what the day will hold. We might sit on the porch and read and do some work. We'll kind of play it by ear a little bit. But first and foremost, I'm going to take Avi for a walk and keep listening to The Macabre, honestly, because I tried to listen to Royal Assassin on her evening walk yesterday. I have to rewind and reread it when I'm sitting down, because I feel like I don't get every single bit of information from the world building and character building in that book if I'm not actually looking at it with my eyes. So Royal Assassin is not an audiobook only experience for me. I must sit down and read it. But The Macabre, I'm excited. I'm going to keep listening to that one. So once I'm a little bit further, I will give you like even more of a synopsis of like what I'm understanding. But yeah. Oh, I also wanted to tell you that I did find someone to trade me Halloween. So I no longer have to call off and screw over all my coworkers, which is great. I was going to feel so guilty for like ever because our staffing that day is really bad. But Halloween's my one day, you know. I wasn't going to work. I don't want to work. Let me have my one day. But yeah, anyways, let's go walk Avi. Let's have a little quiet morning walk while listening to a horror book. Major update. It's been a couple days. I worked all weekend. I didn't get a break on Saturday, and Sunday I did get a break. I did read some of Royal Assassin. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. And then Monday happened, and I was pretty much editing for the majority of the day because I was trying to get that extra vlog out, but I took the day off from vlogging. I didn't really feel like I had anything of substance to tell you. And in between yesterday and today, I did finish, because I have been reading The Macabre by Kosoko Jackson. And I didn't feel like I needed to update you yesterday on it because I just kind of feel like anything that I'm going to say can be said in this final review for it. So I did finish it today. I fear it was sending me into a reading slump. I don't know how exactly accurate that is. It might just be like a mood thing that was going on. I don't know. And it's funny because I don't even think I gave you like a synopsis about this even. So a synopsis and then moving moving into my review on it, is that it is Kosoko Jackson's adult fantasy debut. It's a standalone novel blending art history, time and globe-hopping adventure, and dark horror and fantasy about 10 cursed paintings and the lengths people will go to collect them, destroy them, or be destroyed. So basically our main character is Lewis, and he is invited to represent the United States, basically, and show a painting of his in the, like England's art museum. I don't know. But whatever, he was invited to show his art and like become recognized, etc., etc. And he goes. He obviously goes. Why wouldn't he go? But when he arrives, he is accosted by magical people and taken to this room that, you know, he discovers that magic is real and that he too can do magic. And he is, I don't know if that's in the synopsis. Let's see what I can tell you, because I don't want to spoil anything. Okay, I can't tell you that. I'm glad I didn't. But whatever, in this room, he discovers magic is real. And he, as an artist, has always kind of known that, like, something special happens when he puts paint onto a canvas. He goes into these, like, trance states, and it'll feel like moments pass, and then his painting will be done, and he doesn't remember doing it. And he finds out in this magic room, I'm gonna be so honest, this mic stopped working, and it took me at least 15 minutes to get it back up. So hi, welcome back. Anyways, Lewis, our main guy, he's in this room, this magic room, right? Learns about these 10 paintings, how they are, you know, evil, basically. And he's being tasked with destroying them, and it says that he accepts the invitation only to find that the curated show that he was invited to show his work at is also a test, not only to see if he has the magic necessary to enter the paintings, but also the strength to escape them. And so we're following the journey. We're following the adventures and the trials and tribulations of he and, you know, a couple people who are also involved trying to find these paintings and trying to destroy them. And along the way, you know, a lot happens, and they find out things that are pretty obvious if you've read any book ever. Or, like, can theorize who's good, who's bad, and what could possibly be going on. I like Kosoko's take on this. It was fun. I loved the art history blend with this, like, horror fantasy element. I will say that I thought that it read more like a contemporary, like, lit fantasy. I didn't know that he has a lot of other work that most of them are in YA, which kind of makes sense. This doesn't read YA to me, but it definitely reads like I can tell that he writes like contemporary romance. Like I enjoyed his character building and the dynamics between the characters and their conversations. It felt like he's done it before. And I also don't think that he did the fantasy elements wrong. I think his like fantasy magic system and world building and descriptions and atmosphere, I think he did a really great job with it. I wanted more horror. I did. I thought it was going to be more spooky. It is spooky, but I thought it was going to be a little bit more like scary, I guess I should say. I think that it was a really awesome idea, and I think that he did a really good job. I just wasn't excited about it. Like, I wanted to, want to devour it, but I had trouble just sitting and reading it. Like, all morning today, I was playing Animal Crossing while listening to this. Like, just cleaning up my island. I wasn't, talking to anyone on Animal Crossing. I was literally just, weeding and fishing and, doing random chores that didn't require, any brain power. But I had to kind of do something else in order to pay attention to this book because I couldn't. And again, I don't know if it was a me problem, like my attention just was shit recently, or if there was something with the writing and the pacing and the plot that, wasn't necessarily working for me. It's hard to say. How I feel about this is 5 out of 5 idea and, setup, but my enjoyment of it was unfortunately a 3.5 out of 5. And I think that might be what I'm rating it, but I honestly don't really know. I'm gonna have to sit with this one for a little bit because ultimately it was just hard to keep my attention to it. So I don't know if this review is going to help you or not, because I do want to recommend it. If it sounds interesting, I would say give it a shot. But when it comes down to it for me and my enjoyment, I just felt like it was really predictable and left me wanting a little bit more in terms of the horror, I guess. I think I will think fondly of this book though, and I wouldn't be surprised if I revisit a couple things about it in the future, especially with my own writing. I think that he specifically did such a good job with the descriptions of the magic and how things felt to the characters. I really appreciate this book and his writing. I just didn't love the execution on the plot, I guess, I guess. But that being said, I guess this could be considered the first spooky book of this season, which is exciting. I did decide to pick up my book club pick for last month because Caleb and I are going camping next week, and then I work for a couple days after that, and there won't be a lot of time for me to finish this book before my book club discussion next Saturday. So I'm trying to get it done a little bit early so I don't have to be stressed about it. But it is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. It's a cozy fantasy. It is the 0.5, like kind of sort of the prequel to The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I have made it to chapter 7, I think, today. This is following our main character, N.lui, who broke the law and was turned into a statue for doing magic when she wasn't allowed to. I think only like sorcerers or something are allowed to do magic in this world. And she broke the law and she did sorcery, she did magic to create a sentient spider plant named Kaz. And because she was so lonely and she really just wanted a companion. And even though, you know, that's cute and all, she still got in trouble, still got made an example of, and she was turned into a statue. And now, 6 years later, she wakes up in a different place. She is no longer a statue. She has no idea where she is or what she's doing there until she meets this broody little greenhouse curator. And now we're left with N.lui trying to figure out all of these questions and also figuring out why she was even sent there in the first place. Because the broody, grumpy greenhouse curator was under the impression that he was being sent the statue of a sorcerer, and then if he found out how to get her unstatued, then she would be able to help him. But she is confused. She's like, no, I'm not a, is it a sorcerer? Am I using the right word? It is a sorcerer. Okay, good. And that's really all I know so far. It's really set up to draw intrigue and make me want to keep reading because it is cozy and it is a little bit more like feel good. She, as a main character, N.lui, is a little bit annoying just because she definitely is so sunshine. And I don't remember the other main character's name, the greenhouse guy. He's our obvious like other main character and love interest. He's so grumpy and she is so sunshine. And she's a little bit like eccentric about it. So she's a little bit annoying, but like also very endearing. So, you know, it's just a little bit of a vibe switch from my last read, which I'm not mad about. I really, really loved The Spell Shop and I'm very excited to be reading this. There's a winged cat on the cover and we've already met him and he's so cute. And it's just kind of delightful, you know? It's a snowy scape, but the greenhouse is so like warm and inviting and balmy. But there is an added intrigue that some of the greenhouse rooms, because it's seemingly endless, there's like hundreds of greenhouse rooms, and a lot of them, almost half of them, are the magic is failing. So we gotta figure it out. We gotta figure out why the magic is failing and if we can stop it and revert it. And I'm excited to keep going. So that's the plan. Unfortunately, I do work tomorrow, so I will be MIA again tomorrow, but we'll come back Thursday for another update. Oh, this was something else fun. Yesterday on Monday, when I wasn't vlogging, of course, I decided to go to a local pottery studio called Alley Cat Ceramics. They had open studio hours and it was, they call it Mun Clay, like Monday clay, where if you come to open studio hours on Monday, you get a free 2-pound like amount of clay. And it was super fun. I went there with my leftover clay from my previous class at my other studio and I made 2 little things. I tried to make another cauldron mug, just a little bit bigger. We'll see if it is bigger. But I used the 2-pound clay to make like a little pitcher with like a really big like dip and spout. It looks kind of cutie, and that was super fun. It was really restorative. It was really nice to go and just like make sure I still know what I'm doing, because my next session that I did sign up for, I am going to be starting another session of classes. I went from an intro wheel to an intermediate wheel class, and that's a little bit intimidating, but I'm excited about it. So I wanted to go before class starts and just make sure that like I shouldn't like back out and be like, actually, can you put me back in the beginner? But it went really well, and I feel good about it. So that's exciting, and it was really nice. Went with a friend and came home rejuvenated. So yeah, I work tomorrow. I will be back sometime to update you more about books. But it's just been kind of like a slow, sleepy, rainy couple of days. So, you know, took that time to sort of rest. And I intend to continue that rest this evening.
It's not about you. They're only eternal dreams. Leave them be.
Hello. Why was that so quiet? Hello. Happy Thursday. You normally don't see me this far in the next week in the same vlog, but my work schedule was just a little bit crazy this past week. And so I worked yesterday and now I'm back. I'm back again. I was just revisiting the footage that I have for this video. I have some fun updates. Well, sort of. Not so much in reading. I've only read 2 books so far this month, which is really upsetting to me, but I am enjoying the books that I'm currently reading. I got to page 192, I lied to you, in The Royal Assassin last night. I stayed up late after work, and I did get a lunch break yesterday, so I did read maybe like 15 pages at work. There's just something so cozy about the way that Robin Hobb writes and the worlds that she creates. I just immediately feel like I'm wrapped in a blanket whenever I sit down and start reading her books. Like, the blanket will be there for comfort because I know that, like, I'm going to cry. I know that, like, Robin Hobb is known as the Hobb Sob. Like, there is no mercy for the plot or the characters in her books ever. And I also associate that blanket with just like, I love an old-fashioned cozy fantasy. Like, this is my bread and butter. I'm not necessarily like taking my time on purpose. Life has been busy. And so I haven't had a whole ton of time to sit down and pay attention to it. But every single time that I'm sitting down, I'm loving the time spent, which I'm happy about. So if I haven't said it already, Royal Assassin is book 2 in the Farseer series by Robin Hobb. We're following our main guy, Fitz, young Fitz Chivalry, and he's like the bastard son of one of the kings in waiting at this royal palace called Buck Keep. And essentially he gets taken under like the king's assassin's wing, and he is learning to become an assassin. And it's so funny to me because like that really isn't the biggest part of the plot. Like it matters. It absolutely matters. But like so far, him assassinating people or him like learning the ropes of like how to do such things isn't necessarily like the focal point. And it's just hilarious every time there's like a casual mention of, yeah, and then I assassinated, like I had to go kill so XYZ, like I, had to do the king's bidding or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you do kill people. Like that's crazy. I keep forgetting. And within this world, there's really interesting magic at play. Like there's something called the wit, which I'm still learning entirely. Basically, you can like talk to people through your mind. You can control people through your mind, I think, or influence people, I think might be the better word. And then there is something called the wit, which young Fitz has, and he can basically have a strong connection with animals and communicate with them. And that opens the door to a lot of like intrigue and also heartbreak. So I'm loving my time. Absolutely adore Robin Hobb's writing. I can't wait to continue. Again, won't be finishing it in this video, but I 100% will finish it this month at the very least. I do have plans for the next vlog, so we'll get there. We'll get there because we're going camping in the next video, and I'm really excited. But the other book that I started the other day was The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. That's funny. I listened to this on the way to work yesterday because I'm using some of my Spotify audiobook hours, and I literally listened to like 4 pages. I thought I listened to more than that, but I am on page 65 of The Enchanted Greenhouse. I don't have any new updates for this book. I already updated you in the last clip of how I feel about this. There's no new updates. I do like this little setup that I have though, where it's like cozy fantasy emotional and then like a cozy fantasy, like silly goofy time, feel good sort of romance. So like it's a good little setup. I am excited about what I'm going to be picking up for the next video as well, though. I'm going to pick up, obviously, another, like, horror book, and I already know which one I'm going to bring camping, so we will talk about it then. But yeah, it's Thursday. Oh my God, this was my other update. Okay, I decided in a fit of passion on Tuesday, when I was procrastinating working out, I decided that it was the time. It was the time immediately at that moment to try to learn how to make sourdough. And I have had a starter in my fridge for almost a year, I would say. And you can take it out, wake it up, and do other things. I've been working so hard this week. You have to see everything that I've done because this morning was the first time that we had some growth, and I am just so excited. It's even bigger than it was an hour ago. Look at her. Okay, wait, you can see it more clearly on this side. Look at that growth. Wow. I need to name her something, but look at all those bubbles. Like, it's going really well. I was going to let it grow a little bit more. I was planning on feeding her again around like 10 a.m. because I wanted to make some bread for the first time. I wanted to make some bread and bring it to camping this next week. And I think that would be fun. I can't wait. On Saturday, we're going to go to the farmer's market. We're going to get some tomatoes, and I want to have at least one loaf of bread. I mean, we're only going camping for like 2 nights. So like, will we eat more than one loaf of bread? Probably not. But I thought maybe I'd try to make like a classic one, and then maybe like, I really would love to make like a cinnamon raisin sourdough. But this is the bigger one that I have too. And he grew too. I don't really know what I'm doing with the big one. I was just trying to see if I could revive it again. I might just like throw him back in the fridge and let him be a little bit more dormant. Because this is obviously like my active one, the smaller one that you don't need a whole bunch. And I am learning every day, but I feel like I'm coming into my own, you know, like doing pottery, making sourdough. Like I'm becoming everything I've ever wanted to become. I'm so excited about it. Like, I can't wait to make it work. I got all my tools here. Like, I got my little sourdough thing. I don't know. That's what you mix it with when you're making it. Who knows? Not me. I'm doing my best and I'm learning as I go. And it's just an exciting prospect. And we have a sourdough starter that's active and I'm going to feed her again today. I definitely want like a cutesy, like fantasy inspired name, preferably a more femme name. So let me know what you are thinking down below. I would love to get some recommendations. But that's where we're at. That's it. I've been so excited to tell you about my sourdough. But I think that's really it. I've also been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I, as you know, restarted my island and I'm having actually the best time ever with it because I think that I'm officially like approaching Animal Crossing much differently than I have in every other island I've ever made in my entire life. Like I chose the island based on what I might want to do with it, with like decorations, and I'm trying to be a little bit more like, not aesthetic, but just like thoughtful in what I'm doing instead of just like trying to build the fastest. Like I am just like enjoying the time, and that's the point. It's been so fun to kind of start from the beginning again with that mindset. So I'm having a grand old time with all of my hobbies. And today is going to be no different. I have reading sprints starting at 2 p.m. with my Patreon. And other than hosting those, I'm just going to be trying to get as much pages read as I possibly could. Probably play some Animal Crossing, and I might start editing this video for Sunday. So that's kind of what it's looking like. Tomorrow and Saturday, there is a like literary fest happening in Indianapolis. And myself and Nathan from Schizophrenic Reads are part of a little like book influencer panel that we're going to be speaking at tomorrow night. I'm so nervous. Public speaking is not my jam. I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be fun. Our friend Julia, who owns Tomorrow Bookstore, is going to be moderating the conversation. So really, it's just going to be like 3 buds talking on stage. So I think it'll be fun. Like it will be fun. I just get nervous speaking in front of people. So yeah. So we'll catch up tomorrow again at the start of a new vlog. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still watching, then leave me the paint emoji down below in the comments. And while you're down there, please do subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. I'll see you next time. Bye.